on climate change. This is an international body of over 1,000 scientists around the world from every single different country who's doing specific research into climate change. And what they noted is that essentially we are on track over the next, we basically have between now and 2030 for us to get our act together and begin to reduce carbon emissions drastically. Another thing in the report that was mentioned is that cities happen to be at the forefront of both where the emissions are coming from and how we can solve this problem. So a lot of people reached out to me and said, well, because of our current administration, do you think that we're going to move in the right direction? And I think because of the leadership that we see up here, Orlando is certainly going to be prepared for and be able to respond to some of these issues that we may face in the future. The second important report came out by it's called the National Climate Assessment. This was the fourth assessment that was performed by about 14 federal agencies from NASA, NOAA, USGS, and many others, to look at what are the current impacts of climate change here in the United States. And the report at the end of the day said climate change is not something that we're going to see off into the distant future, 10, 15, 20 plus years from now. It is happening today. It's happening in our backyards right now. We're seeing it with the stronger storms that we just witnessed over the last 2 years, the fires that were happening historically in California, the floods that happen in Houston, and many of the agricultural challenges that are happening in the Midwest. And if you all saw at the end of, in December, we were part of a National Geographic documentary called Paris to Pittsburgh. Hopefully you all were able to check that out. It's still being viewed. But essentially it showed cities taking the lead on implementing solutions to move our electric grid towards renewable energy, move our vehicles towards zero-emission electric vehicles, and begin working on strategies that we can work on in our own backyard. I appreciate you bringing those two things
thank
in.
you. Thank you for that information.
You got it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, we don't have a CRA, a NID, an OPEB, no new business, so that brings us right to hearings, ordinances on second reading. Madam Clerk, you ready for the new year?
Sure.
All right, let's get started. Number one.
Ordinance 2018-68, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending Chapter 58, Orlando City Code to update the regulations regarding substantial improvement of longstanding non-conforming structures, amending Chapter 66, Orlando City Code to amend the definition of substantial improvement, providing legislative findings and for severability, codification, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Ings. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number two, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance 2018-69, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to historic preservation, designating certain real property generally located at the southeast corner of Poinciana Avenue and DeSoto Circle, addressed as 324 DeSoto Circle, as an Orlando historic landmark, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ings, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify relating to this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number three.
Ordinance 2019-1, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to historic preservation, designating certain real property generally located north of Pappy Kennedy Street, east of Amorous Avenue, west of Florence Avenue, and south of Booker Street, addressed as 4165 and 4173 Pappy Kennedy Street, as an Orlando historic landmark, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ings, second by Commissioner Hill. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify relating to this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing
Yes,
none.
sir.
Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to say this is much celebration in January 2019 because we're getting ready to celebrate Arthur Pappy Kennedy Prayer Breakfast, which is normally held at the First Baptist Church. I'd like to thank Richard Forbes and also the Historic Preservation Board for their leadership in this particular application. And then also thank you to Vicki Johnson, the granddaughter of Arthur Pappy Kennedy, for initiating the application. And I know it was done through a family affair, requesting the designating 4165 Pappy Kennedy Street as a City of Orlando historic landmark. So we've still got much more work to do, and I'm just very grateful to this city Orlando, Mayor Dyer, yourself, and the Orlando City Council. Thank you.
Okay, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Number 4, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance 2019-2, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending Chapter 39, Orlando City Code, Orlando Traffic and Parking Code by amending Section 39.68 to increase various fine amounts, providing for severability, repeal of conflicting ordinances and actions, codification, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, ordinances, first reading number 1.
Ordinance 2019-3, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, vacating, closing, and abandoning a 14-foot alley on the north side of West Copeland Drive, east of Sly Boulevard, and comprised of .05 acres of land, more or less, providing for the execution of affecting documents, severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 2.
Ordinance 2019-4, an ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the Plan Development Zoning District regulations for certain real property generally located north of West Oak Ridge Road, south of Interstate Highway 4, east of Florida Turnpike, and west of Millennia Boulevard, and comprised of 73.5 acres, more or less, of which 3.8 acres is conservation, amending the Plan Development District's development program for Phase 2 to allow hotels as a standalone use in Phases 2B and 2C, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's error, permit disclaimer, and effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Number 3.
Ordinance 2019-5, an ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the Plan Development Zoning District regulations relating to approximately 115 acres of land generally located east of Interstate 4, west of State Road 1792, and south of Wilkinson Street, amending the Plan Development District's development program to modify signage types to reflect the rebranding of the hospital system from Florida Hospital to Advent Health, and to delete regulations regarding lighting, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, permit disclaimer, and effective date.
So moved.
Go ahead.
Motion by Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Ings? Which one? Commissioner Ings? Motion by Commissioner Ings, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify related to this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And number 4.
Ordinance 2019-6, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the city's growth management plan to change the future land use map designation for certain land generally located north of Rockmount Court, east of Edgewater Drive, and south of Arthur Avenue, comprised of .73 acres of land, more or less, from medium-intensity mixed-use corridor resource protection to residential low-intensity resource protection, amending the boundary of future land use sub-area policy S.2.4, providing for amendment of the city's growth management plan, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Hill. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and so the motion carries. And that concludes the official business of the Orlando City Council for today. We'll be back for general appearances.